I got my annual notice of change last week and surprised CIGNA Saver monthly premium will go from $16.80 in 2024 to $9.90. Now, in this video, I'll show you details how I'm shopping this year for my standalone Part D coverage. Did your 2025 Part D premiums go up or down? Stay tuned. Well, I was really surprised that Cigna came through with an annual notice of change that said they're staying in the market. They're selling their business off, but it's not going to close until sometime this coming year. And so they're still in the marketplace. But I'm not going to make my decision just on the premium. I'm going to continue to shop for total premium plus drug costs for the year with the Medicare.gov plan finder. Now, I'll show you on screen some of my screen grabs from my own shopping, and I'm really surprised that mail order may not be the best option. Now, the annual enrollment period will run from October 15 to December 7th, and this is the time to shop for the insurance offered through your Medicare Advantage plans and your standalone prescription drug plans. But you should begin shopping now, comparing costs and plans as of October 1st. The preview phase on Medicare.gov is up. But maybe not all the data is in it yet. Let's take a look. All right, so we're going to jump in and I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour of the Medicare.gov plan finder that you can use for your smart shopping of Part D plans for 2025. Now, if you'll notice, I'm here on the Medicare.gov homepage and I have not logged in. And you don't need to log in either to do a little bit of shopping. It'll be more powerful if you do, though, because then all of your drugs will already be loaded into the system. But for this, I'm going to do a little experiment and show you a little bit from the model retiree that I've used for the last few years. The first thing you're going to do is hit Plan Finder here, and then you're going to say, I'm not going to log in and I'm searching for coverage for 2025. And I'm going to put in a zip code of a nearby zip code so it protects my privacy a little bit. And I'm going to find a drug plan. And as always, if you get extra help for your drug coverage, you should really talk to your SHIP counselor, your state health insurance program that will help you find the best buy for you. But I don't get help from any of those plans. And I do want to search for drugs, and I'll use the same similar drugs that I've used for the last few years. I'm going to go in here and hit yes. And then I'm going to add in the drugs. Watch this screen very carefully. I'm using quantities for mail order. So I'm going to increase this and change the frequency to every 3 months and then add that to my drug. All right, so these are the same 3 drugs that I've entered for a sample retiree, 2 very generic tier 1 generics, and 1, the ezetimibe, that is a higher tier. I'm throwing that in just to show you what it might be if you have a mix of tier 1 and higher drugs in the system. And if you've got yours already loaded into your account, that's the best way of shopping. But let's explore. It's going to ask you to search for pharmacies next, and you'll want to include add the mail order pharmacy and then select some retails in your area. And I'm going to select a few here. And then I'm down here, I'm going done. You are going to want to shop on your drugs and how you prefer to get your drugs. But be careful this year. Watch. Now it comes up that WellCare is the monthly premium is only $2.30 compared to the $9.90 that Cigna had. If you could see down here, there's the Healthcare Saver RX plan. But now look at the retail and mail order pharmacy prices for these three drugs. Mail order was supposed to save us money. What's happening here that the mail order is $507.60 for the premium plus drug costs, and it's only $345.20 for a retail pharmacy near me? What's going on here? Go back up to WellCare. You can see that the retail pharmacy and mail order prices are both similar. When you add the premium plus the drug costs through either of retail or mail order, they're going to be the same price. But mail order was supposed to save us money. What's going on? This is even worse. Humana has a basic RX plan where the monthly premium is $12.10. Buying the drugs at your retail is only going to cost $279. But if you go through mail order, it's going to cost you $1,500 and more. What's going on? There must be something in the way the CMS has pushed out these price controls. If you recall, I told you about price controls in Part D plans this year. Are they going to really work? Now let's dive into the WellCare and look at the plan details. Here's the estimated cost for drugs. It's going to be about $60 for the three drugs. Your monthly premium is $2.30. But now let's take a look at the drug coverage here. Down here, you look at the three drugs and the total costs, and you can see that the Rite Aid pharmacy is in-network but not preferred. Walgreens is preferred, as is CVS. The mail order is preferred, it says, but here's the price differences. This Zetia drug here is the one that's causing most of the cost. And it's going to be the same, $60 for all three ways of getting it through the preferred networks. It's going to cost you $173 if you were trying to get it at the Rite Aid. Now, let's go back to the CIGNA example. Humana, I don't even want to see. CIGNA's, and see what the costs were for the plan details here. The premiums here were $9.90 a month. And then the drug costs, I'm getting them 3-month packages of 90 at a time. And they're all three of them are generics. But if you go down here to the details, you'll see that the prescription drug costs for this Zetia equivalent here, this generic, range from $65.80 at the CVS pharmacy, but $388 for the mail order? What's going on? Notice the star ratings are not yet loaded for either the Medicare Advantage or the Part D plans. And again, I'm not so worried about the Part D plans star ratings because you're buying coverage 1 year at a time. But if you are going down the path of Medicare Advantage, you might want to pay attention to those star ratings when they get loaded. When you log into your Medicare account, it's going to come up to this, and it's going to show you what your current Part D plan is. And then you're going to want to hit that button there that says Find Plans Now. I'm going to shop here. I'm going to white out my zip code here and continue. And I'm shopping for the drug plans. And then it's going to say, all right, it's loading the results. And again, these all have my drugs that I'm currently taking already preloaded. But there's some weird stuff that happens here. First is, when it shows you this, it doesn't have this loaded here. But if you go down further, there's the WellCare prices. There's Humana. And there's Healthcare. And it's got the prices. The CIGNA Healthcare has the prices loaded down here. What's going on? Now, I want to make sure that I have my drugs loaded properly to shop for mail order or retail. If you're going to compare retail, then you need to go back and adjust those volumes for your drugs. From this page, you're going to go to drug coverages and change drugs, and then go through. And I've got some generics here. I'm going to go through and change them. So now I've gone through and I've changed the real generics that I'm taking to monthly orders. And I'm going to now again shop without a mail order option and see what comes up with just the retail prices. Rite Aid is really coming up as a pharmacy that's not going to be preferred network. It's in plan, but not preferred. So in your search circumstances, look for where you want to buy the drug and make sure it's in their preferred network. As I was shopping through, it came up with the three options, the $9.90 for Cigna, the $12.10 for Humana, and the WellCare for $2.30. But notice it didn't find any of the pharmacies for Humana were in network, and it asked me to find a preferred pharmacy that I could shop with Humana. And so I clicked that button. However, when I went to that, then I couldn't find any preferred in-network pharmacies in your area. So maybe they haven't loaded everything yet. We'll see, but keep shopping and watch out. One of the other things I did was a little bit due diligence and looked up WellCare. It is saying that the WellCare plans, the Medicare PDP highlights, 3 products will be offered in 34 regions across all 50 states in the District of Columbia. 102 PDPs will be offered nationwide. And in 2024, more than 1.4 million members will benefit from the tier structures that WellCare has put in. Down here it said that the value script plan will continue to be offered. All the plans will feature zero copay for Tier 1 prescription drugs filled at a preferred pharmacy. PDP members will also pay zero for Medicare covered Part D vaccines, and no more than $35 for a 30-day supply of all covered insulins. Now, those two are required by all insurers for the 2025 rules. Now, Aetna CVS is going to take all 3 of their individual PDP products and merge them into a single plan, Silver Script, available in all 50 states. The Silver Script choice will offer 0 monthly plan premiums for members that have extra help, but those that don't get extra help will see their premiums range from $23.50 to $66 a month for members not receiving extra help. Shop carefully this year. I'm not sure whether this is just the preview phase, doesn't have all of its data in yet, or is there something going on? Now, in brainstorming about this, I'm wondering whether the regulations that they put in to provide price supports for the standalone PDP plans have something in them that is favoring retail pharmacy versus mail order pharmacies. I also do know, and I'll put some links to stories in the Wall Street Journal this summer, that mail order pharmacies aren't the best buy in employer-run plans. Are the same kind of inefficiencies sneaking into the Medicare system too? Price controls are probably the worst way of trying to contain pharmacy costs. Having controls from Washington that set the premiums and offer subsidies to insurance companies to keep premium prices down, and all these extra rules about preferred and unpreferred pharmacies is really altering the marketplace. The marketplace is the best way to shop for your drugs. The finder has to be the tool with the right information, and hopefully by October 15th it will be. Then go in October 15th through December 7th, use your drugs and the way you want to get the drugs and see if it works out. But this year, make sure you're comparing retail pharmacies with mail order pharmacies. If they have a preferred mail order that gives you the drug cheaper, it's a more convenient way of doing it. But if they've changed the rules so it's no longer the best option, search for the best retail near you and buy your drugs in 2025 that way. Hopefully by 2026, they'll sort it out. I will conclude with my standard warning. I am not a professional planner. I am not a Medicare broker. I'm just a DIY retiree. I have no initials after my name. So take these as entertaining ideas from one educated consumer to another. Always do your own due diligence and seek out a professional if you need one.